this is one of the most interesting things to emerge in all this. Jake Paul turning himself into a cartoon supervillain. Didn't see that coming, but he's doing a fucking fabulous job with it.
He kind of circled, but it came full circle because that's kind of what his original shtick was jumping on the news vans and starting shit with everybody.
But that was like some Bart Simpson, I'm an annoying teenager shit. And now he's like Floyd or Connor, like I'm just like gonna challenge everyone, do the biggest dickhead shit possible, and y'all are just gonna consume it.
I was just talking about it last night. We were having him on the podcast for a while, and he was in this weird like transitional space where he didn't. I remember him saying it like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. You know what I'm saying? He had this breakdown on the show, and I thought to myself, I was like, yo, this is the moment where he's going to either like make this change like Logan did into this like more cultured, like well thought out, like kind of individual, or something's gonna happen. Like this is gonna be the moment of growth for him. But it's gonna change him for the positive, like away from supervillain Jake, right? But then all of a sudden, we got the boxing shit came along,
right?
And it was like rocket fuel, and it turned him from a villain that wasn't a villain for like the right purpose, that people were just like, yo, this villain doesn't exist for any reason, to a villain that has a purpose, and now he's just on a mission, and you literally can't not respect the waves he's making. You could say whatever you want about him. You could say you agree with his stances. You could say you disagree with his style or what he's saying, or he's taking shots at Floyd Mayweather, one of the best fucking fighters to ever do it. Gotcha hat. But you can't even for a second try to discount what he's doing from a wave making standpoint.
Gotcha hat was so ingenious that it strikes me as not even like a Floyd thing. That was like a 6ix9ine thing. That's something 6ix9ine in his prime would have done. He would have snatched somebody's hat.
Let's hope he doesn't take it that far, because now this motherfucker's in a dangerous place. Like 6ix9ine is.
But I just wonder if you're Jake Paul and like you're creating all this villain energy and everybody's paying attention and stuff. It's like, will he ever sort of like pull back and try to present himself as more of like a regular, real person? Like, or does all this kind of exclude him ever being able to have the kind of relationship with their audience that I would say like you have, where they empathize with you and look at you as like a regular person? With him, it's almost like, does this kind of put you in a box where you're just the devil at a certain point?
Like a character.
It's either this is all really who he is,
but it's not, and that's been part of it.
Or it's not, and if it's not, then listen, one thing about Jake, I've always given him credit for this, even in our the times when we've beefed. This kid knows the internet, bro.
Yeah.
He's got his fucking finger on the pulse. He's got his thumb up the internet's ass. He fully understands what makes people click on things. And I think if he wanted to switch it up and transition and kind of live more of a peaceful, like engaging, like intimate thing with his fans, I think he could do that.
If you watch the pre-fight interview when he was on Impulsive, like right before Askren, he had this very calm and structured demeanor and approach to everything he said. And I remember saying to him, I was like, bro, I've never seen this side of you before. I've never seen you so well-spoken. That was the exact words I used. I said, you were so well-spoken on the show. And the dichotomy and contrast between that show and the show that immediately followed the fight, which was this hungover, drunken escapade, bashing Pete Davidson, bashing Cormier and all these people, was the definitive dichotomy that is Jake Paul. It's like, you have that guy, he does exist, that well-spoken, almost Logan-like person, and that I think is closer to who he actually is, but he just knows how to sell. He's a marketer, and he's crushing it in that space. As someone who like me, who is fully number one prioritized and obsessed with career, that shit's working very well for him right now. So why would he stop doing it?
Right.